can't stop the signal now.
Welcome back to another Rebel Rant. And today we're going to have a talk about CW's Batwoman. So, you may or may not have heard something about it by now. And as you can see from this picture, there's been quite a bit of discussion and controversy regarding this character. As you can see from her original costume, didn't even have the red hair, which I can pretty much guarantee you was an attempt to minimize her femininity as a female character. Yeah, this picture is exactly what it looks like, folks. So let's go ahead and flash forward to present day Batwoman. Oh my God. Folks, this is just, this is exactly what I've been talking about all these years. You've got these, the color changes, the gender changes, the orientation changes, whatnot, the swapping this out and that out as if these are modular transformers or something like that. Folks, this may be fantasy, this may be fiction, it might not be real, but what makes it so enjoyable and what allows you to suspend your disbelief is the fact that it is based on our reality to some extent. Without that foundation, video games, pop culture, movies, etc., none of it works. It's not entertaining. And as you can see from this picture right here, Batwoman was specifically created to be a white female. When you try and shoehorn a character that was not part of the original creation into that costume, etc., you can see for yourself it just doesn't work. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few other characters here. And one example is going to be Electro from the Marvel Universe. He is a white male character, and he's been around a long time. He was created with a specific design in mind. His suit, his costume was designed to match the character. And if we take a look at the modern Electro, oh my goodness, folks. I'm sorry, but that suit does not fit that character. It is a female Electro, female version of the character with the exact same suit and everything. And I'm sorry, but that does not work. We're not even talking about the basic biology and whatnot, of men versus women, etc. The simple fact is that these characters are designed a certain way from the ground up. And when you try to shoehorn different type of real biological characteristics into a character like that, the simple fact is that it's not going to work in the vast majority of circumstances. Take Scarlet Witch, for example. She's a very popular character within the Marvel Universe. And in the MCU movies, she was pretty popular. A lot of fans liked her. A lot of fans loved her. And from day one, from the ground up, she was designed as a feminine, womanly character. That was her character. That's how she was designed. I've never heard of a female character being changed over into a male character. I've never heard of a black character being changed into a white character. Quite frankly, I don't want that. If you're going to make a character a different color, a different gender, make it original. Start from scratch. Build it from the ground up. This is a good example right here of what I'm talking about. You got a female character, popular, well-loved, built from the ground up as a feminine, womanly character. And just out of curiosity, I tried looking up something about the original white Nick Fury, and this popped up. Was the original Nick Fury a white guy? Folks, this is another example. When you gender swap, race swap, orient swap, all it does is confuse people. The reason people enjoy these characters, why they love these characters, why they identify with these characters, is because they have been these characters from day one. When I buy a comic book, I want to know what I'm getting into here, what I'm spending my money on. If it's a character I've enjoyed for a long time, don't mess with it. You can play around with the story arcs, with the events that are happening to him, but you don't mess with the character himself or herself. And as you may know, Nick Fury was given black skin. This was done before the MCU movies. The original Black Nick Fury was actually the son of the original White Nick Fury in the Marvel Ultimate Universe. And while they at least didn't just simply swap his skin tone out for the sake of checking off those checkboxes, they did at least make him the son of the original White Nick Fury. Now, while they at least attempted to create a new character they still attempted to replace the original with a new one instead of creating a whole new character. Now, I understand a lot of people are fans of the Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury in the movies. However, honestly, I'm not going to lie, and this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, very unpopular thing to say. I've never been that much of a fan of the black Nick Fury. I was very surprised and not completely happy about the fact that they changed him from white to black. That was very much a woke gesture on the part of Marvel. Let's go ahead and continue here. So then we have an article from Screen Rant regarding the Hannibal movie and television series. This article goes on to list every character that was race and gender swapped. We've got Jack Crawford, played by Lawrence Fishburne. I do enjoy Lawrence Fishburne as an actor, but the original Jack Crawford was a white male. Then you have Alana Bloom, who originally was a male character. You have Freddie Lounds, who's originally a male character. You have Dr. Frederick Chilton, who's originally a white character and is now a white Hispanic. You have Beverly Cass, that was originally a white female and is now an Asian female. And then you have Reba McClane, who's originally a white female and is now a black female. So it's bad enough when you have a white female, but white men are especially, no. You know, white men, you gotta run for your safe space there. And yeah, so this has been going on for quite some time. And it very much extends outside of the comic book community. But let's go ahead and get back to comic books specifically here, and one of my favorite all-time characters here. You guessed it. Captain America, the First Avenger. And yeah, he's always been a personal favorite of mine. And by and large, they did a pretty good job of representing him in the MCU movies. I'm not going to say it was 100% perfect representation, but there's nothing there that I can really overly complain about. Let's go ahead and take a little bit closer look at Captain America there and the history of his character. With another article from Screen Rant, they go on to discuss 11 characters that have replaced Steve Rogers as Captain America. Number 11, Bucky Barnes. Personally, I think he should be number 1. He's a longtime friend of Steve Rogers. They fought together in World War II. There's no man on this planet that has a closer relationship, closer friendship with Steve Rogers. So if anybody should be in the number 1 spot, it should be Bucky Barnes, in my opinion. Whodoggy, folks. I don't even know what this is. Danielle Cage, never heard of her before looking at this article. Some sort of future version of Captain America, and I'm sorry, folks, it does not work for me. And that's on top of the fact that this artwork is absolutely terrible. And then you got William Naslund, who's originally the Spirit of 76, took over as Captain America for a while after he disappeared in an attempt to keep this legacy of Steve Rogers alive. You got Jeffrey Mace, who was the Patriot and became Captain America for a while. You got Isaiah Bradley, who also became Captain America after some pretty shady propaganda type origin story. And you got Clint Barton thrown in there, who wasn't actually Captain America. He was in the running apparently, which I actually was not aware of. And for whatever reason, they decided to throw him in there, even though he never was actually Captain America. So yeah, so there's that. You got William Burnside, who I do remember from back in the day. He actually took on the name of Steve Rogers with some plastic surgery so he could look like him, because he idolized Captain America. And when Captain America disappeared, he wanted to take his place and keep his name alive. You got Roscoe Simmons, who took on the mantle for a while when Steve Rogers stepped down willingly, and he was eventually deleted at the hands of Red Skull. And then you got John Walker, who took over as Captain America for a while. I do remember that one, with mixed feelings on that one. And that is the time when Steve Rogers took on the persona of the Captain, because he was not legally allowed to call himself Captain America. And then we got Scott Summers' Ultimate version, Ultimate Reality. I'm not even going to get into that one. And then we got Sam Wilson. Personally, I might put him at number 2. As previously stated, Bucky Barnes really should be number 1, which should tell you a lot about where these people's minds are and the level of respect or lack thereof that they have for these characters. Now, the point that I'm trying to make here is that there have been many people stepping up to take on the mantle of Captain America. However, Steve Rogers has always been Steve Rogers. They've never messed with his skin color. They never messed with his gender. And there was always a valid and interesting story arc that led up into these people taking on the mantle of Captain America. And it was always temporary. Steve Rogers has always come back to take back the mantle of Captain America. And quite frankly, he's the best and only true Captain America in my book. And then we come to another big character in my comic book life. Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, the original. Now, Hal Jordan is still my personal favorite Green Lantern, but Alan Scott has always been interesting for me. And in fact, he is the character that actually led me to leave the comic book community. Alan Scott had a very well-established history and whatnot. He was married, had kids, all that stuff. And then in 2012, DC brought out the New 52 and decided to make some very woke changes in the entire universe. Now, I had heard about these changes and whatnot, but I was not aware of when they were actually putting them out there. So imagine my surprise when one day I went to the comic book store and found a new Green Lantern series starring Alan Scott as the Green Lantern. So I was pretty excited. I bought the first 2 issues. They were sitting there. There were plenty of copies. The guy working the register did not warn me about the story. We got home, opened it up, and boom, what do you know? Alan Scott was officially part of the alphabet community. It's just like, come on, man. This is the definition of woke, folks, and it's been going on for a very long time. Now, there are a lot of other channels, much bigger channels than mine. Deride, Geeks and Gamers, Doomcock, countless others, and they have all said the same thing. They are all part of the get woke, go broke, Phantom Menace type part of the community. And yet for some reason, they still openly support and condone stuff like this. They're always saying they have no problem with alphabet characters, alphabet stories, and whatnot. If that was the case, that stuff like this wouldn't be a problem. As much as I enjoy their channels, as much as I enjoy watching their videos, this is the one thing that confuses the total hell out of me about this. It's like they do not support the woke agenda, and yet this type of thing is the core foundation of that woke agenda. So I'm just confused on that point. And then boom, this right here, this doggy. As soon as I opened up the book and I saw these images, I was furious, folks. I was so angry. I wasted my money on this trash. This is called a bait and switch, folks. They put the stuff out there, and if you don't know what's going on, you buy it, you open up, boom, it's in your face. This is not cool, folks. This is just wrong. And this is when I stopped buying comic books. This is not Alan Scott. This is not his Green Lantern. They can make all the excuses they want about this not being a real world and whatnot. But when I buy a comic book for a character that I'm interested in and I've enjoyed for a long time, it's because that character is created a certain way and that character embodies certain characteristics that I enjoy reading about. So when they try to take an established character and twist them into something else, something that was never meant to be, something that was never created to be, folks, that is deceptive by its very nature. It is manipulative. It is just another form of lying. It is disrespectful to the character. It is disrespectful to the creator of that character. It is disrespectful to the fans that have loved that character for years and decades. And it brings us right back around to the woke Batwoman. Just when you think Batwoman can't get any woker, boom, here it is. They changed her skin color. And as you can see, she just looks absolutely ridiculous. That costume, that design, it was for a white woman with certain specific features. You cannot simply plug and play here, folks. You want a different skin color, a different set of genetics, you've got to build that character from the ground up. You have to build them from scratch. You have to design the character around their basic characteristics, both biological and psychological. That is just a stone cold reality of how these things work, folks. These people just don't learn, folks, and quite frankly, it's not going to stop until they go completely bankrupt. People have got to stop making excuses for it. They've got to stop. Woke is woke, folks. The alphabet and feminist agenda It's all part of the get woke, go broke agenda, folks. It really is. Until that changes, this stuff is not going to stop coming. They're not going to stop pushing this in our face, folks. But, you know what? At least we can get a laugh out of it. So that said, folks, I hope you enjoyed this rant. I thank you for watching. If you didn't enjoy it, I thank you for watching anyways. If you enjoy the channel, take a moment, hit that subscribe button, and hit that like button. It really does help, and it is appreciated. So with that said, this has been another Rebel Rant, speaking into the void.